Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Elder Scrolls Legends. I wanted to go through deck building. Before we get there, we see that July has begun and wanted to go through some of those rewards. In my previous video, I mentioned what you can get in those daily rewards, so I thought now would be a perfect time also to go through that. Today's reward for me would be 15 gold, and then tomorrow if I log in it would be 15 soul gems, and then 1 event ticket, and so on. I can get an epic card, 1 random rare, a pack, 1 epic, even a legendary. So there's actually, as long as I log in every day, there are a lot of cool things that I can receive. And this is one thing that I really love about this game, because I don't have to really work hard in order to get these cool little extra things. For example, this ticket here is worth 150 coin. That's awesome. If I get enough soul gems, I can purchase, a card of my choice. And it's cool because all I have to do is just log in every day and claim it. And I just wanted to show you that. I think this is, really cool. So I'll go ahead and click claim. And then it, of course, wants me to, look at their offer that they have for me. And at this time, I don't think the offer is best for me, but they do show you an offer that's, more or less a good deal. Alright, so deck building in Legends can be a little bit frustrating. If we go to collection, you'll see that there are several different groups. So red is strength, our blue is intelligence, our gold is willpower, green is agility, purple is endurance. This multi-attribute, you'll notice that there are cards that actually have multi-attributes. These are helpful for whenever you want to form a particular deck of multicolors. You can select that particular card and then build around that particular card. So if there's a card that you really like and you want that to be in there, click on that card and then build around that card. And of course we have our neutral cards, which these can be in any deck, it doesn't matter. So how do we determine building a deck? One of the things that I like to do is use, there's a website, and we're going to go to it in a little bit. It's legends-decks.com. Let's go ahead and go there now. Alright, so legends-decks.com. So you'll notice that in this website, you see a lot of the similar things that is in the game. We see different decks that we can fetch here. If we scroll up, you can kind of get an idea of what those decks represent by the avatars in the screen. You can click on decks here, and you can see all the different decks that are included in the game. So one of the types of decks that I really enjoy are assassin decks, and you'll have noticed that's one of the decks that I have in game. And really I have it because it was a budget deck. It didn't really cost me that much money. And here, for example, here's one right here. Tier 0 low budget updated. Right? The cost of this deck is only 7,600 gems. And depending on, like here it says elsewhere, there may be some new cards that came out in elsewhere that I don't have yet that I can purchase using those gems, and I can just add them right in, and I can create, doing that, my up-to-date deck, right? And it won't be that much money because these cards are cards that have already been out in the game. For example, Dominion Oathman in the last video that I made, you saw that I had Dominion Oathman, Shadowmere, Ice Spike. A lot of these Soul Split are from previous card generations, and so this looks promising in the sense of it won't cost me too much to upgrade the cards. So I like to use this. I'll come here, I'll look at the mana curve, you know, okay, 13 twos, 15 threes, you know, this would be a pretty easy deck to play. I don't have too many higher level, you know, fours and fives to worry about building up my mana. And we can see here, you know, the majority of keywords. Last gasp is the highest, which is 10, which last gasp basically means, you know, as soon as my card is destroyed, it takes some kind of action against the opponent. So this is definitely a deck where your cards are meant to die to perform some type of action. A lot of drain, and then a couple charge and betray. So I think, you know, this would be a really fun deck just to try and build. And then the easiest way to do this would just be, you know, take a screenshot with your phone, or, you know, if you have, you know, 2 monitors, move this to 1 monitor and play the game with another monitor, and you can build this up. So let's see, you know, just for fun, I'll go ahead and I'm going to take a screenshot of this with my phone, and we're going to see if we're able to build this deck. Alright, so I'm going to hit on new deck here. This little search bar is very friendly because it is the best way to search. So that first card was Cruel Firebloom, so I'm going to go ahead and put in Cruel Firebloom. Alright, looks like I have 3, and this deck that we saw calls for 3. And then Blood Sorceress, I have 3, and the deck calls for 2. Brutal Ashlander, I have 3, and the deck calls for 3. Dominion Oathman, I already know that I have Dominion Oathman, and it calls for 3. Shadowmere, one out of 1, perfect. Alright, next one is Altmar Flameslinger. And I have 3, and the deck requires 3. I Spike. I have 3 out of 3. Right, Mud Crab Ankle Snapper. Sounds like a really fun friend to have. Ankle Snapper. I have 3, and the deck requires 3. Alright, Satanine Courier. Alright, I have 3, and we need 2. Oops. There we go. And next is Soul Split. I need 2, and we have 3. Perfect. Black Hand Messenger. That sounds like one I do not have. Alright, so whenever you get no results back, most likely it's a card that you don't have. You can click on this little button up here, Soul Sight, to see unknown cards, and you'll notice that here is Black Hand Messenger, and I need 3 of them, and each one costs a hefty 400. So whenever you're doing this, make sure that it is, you know, a deck that you want, and before you do it, because as you can see here, it's going to cost me 400 to be able to summon this card, but in order to sell it, I would only get 100. So before I do this, I'm going to go through the rest of the deck to see if there's any other cards I'm missing before I commit to 1,200 gems going to a single card. So the next one I would need is Blood Sacrament. Alright, I have 3, and deck calls for 3. Camlorn Hero. Alright, 3 out of 3. Crushing Blow. 3 out of 3. House Kinsman. Alright, I have 3, and the deck calls for 3. Perfect. Lightning Bolt. I have 3, and yep, we need 3. Cliff Racer. I know I have Cliff Racer, and I do have 3. Giant Snake. Alright, Giant Snake. I need 2 of these and each one costs 400. So that would put me at the 1200 plus 800. So we're looking at 2000, which still keeps me within being able to build this deck. Okay, so I'm going to hold off. I have one more to look at, Spoils of War card. I'll see if I have it. I do have Spoils of War, and I need 2. Alright, so let's go back to the Blackhand Messenger. And we are going to soul summon 1, 2, 3. And all I have to do now is hit the X and I will get all 3 cards. So let's see, this card will drain. So it's funny because it drains, but he can't, the card, the messenger cannot do damage. So when you summon, it does 2 damage, and on that 2 damage, when you summon, it's going to give you 2 health. And then once another card kills him, you're going to get, you're going to deal 2 more damage to the opponent and receive 2 more health. So it's really a card to boost up your own health. Alright, so we'll go ahead and summon that. There's 1200 hard-earned gems out the door. And I will select all 3. And now I'm ready for Giant Snake. And I'm going to soul summon 2. Alright. And so for this one, I will go ahead and just name it Elsewhere Assassin so I can differentiate it from the others. And done. And so now whenever I go back and I want to see my... Oh, that's nice. Okay, so if I want to say play, you know, practice, expert, now I have my Elsewhere Assassin deck. And so I can go ahead and build this. Now I do recommend, you know, if you can find out any information about the deck that you're purchasing, to go ahead and you know, look into that information to see, you know, how well it adjusts to the style that you like to play. I prefer a little bit more of using the prophecy cards, building off of each other, and the way that the assassin deck works. So that's why I enjoy those. But you know, you may be one who likes where, for example, you know, if you've ever seen a goblin deck, those are incredible because all of the goblins just support each other and give boosts to each other, similar to orc decks. You know, if you have multiple orcs and you summon another orc, this particular orc might receive, you know, +1 for how many orcs are on the battlefield. So there's a lot of different really cool ways to play the cards. So I suggest, you know, doing a little bit of research, you know, finding out the way that you enjoy playing, and just build a deck around that. So if we go back to this website, we'll see a couple comments. You know, so Blood Sorceress and Shadowmere are from the Fall of the Dark Brotherhood story. You know, the rest are obtainable from different packs. You know, really cool one to try. And sometimes what you'll notice is they will include a win ratio. So for example, this deck here may be just a really quick, you know, tier 0 assassin. You're going to be able to play a lot of cards quickly, but this might be better for PvE, right? So you're just wanting to, let's say you want to farm gems, or you want to be able to farm quickly, you know, in practice, just to get a whole bunch of gems so you can purchase different cards. You don't want to have to worry too much about, you know, having to, you know, fight really hard with the computer. So maybe this is a really good deck to use against the computer in those practice modes. Whereas maybe against human components, it's not such a good idea. You know, sometimes, so that type of information is usually kept right here. So I hope everyone's enjoyed this. I'm really enjoying the game. You know, I've watched it, as I mentioned in my previous video, just grow and grow, and all these cool cards keep coming in, and it's wonderful to see that, you know, with a free game, where you do have these in-game purchases, you know, Bethesda offers a form for you to get better cards and do so much more every day just by logging in. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this, and I want everyone to have a wonderful, safe day and enjoy your week. I will see you Thursday.